and welcome to the EdTech Chat and Chew podcast, your source for ideas to help your students be incredible, delivered in bite-sized episodes perfect for your lunch break.
Welcome to EdTech Chat and Chew episode number 4. We're excited to have all of you with us here today. You know, because it is a beautiful Martin Luther King Day here in the United States, and though some of us are in service, some of us are in class, some of us are off work today, as you'll see here in just a little bit, it's just still a great day to talk about what great things are happening in school. I'm Diane Smokorowski. I am the Technology Integration Specialist for the Andover Schools in Andover, Kansas, in 2013 Kansas Teacher of the Year. Always with me is Mike.
Welcome, everyone. Hello.
Who is in Pennsylvania. Down our friends in Texas, we have Andrea Keller.
Hello, guys.
From Irving, and then from El Paso, we have Karen Balbier.
Hi, and Karen, you've got the after the gym Karen today because we are off.
Woohoo! But it's a good day, like I said, in education. And you know what's really interesting about this time of year is this seems to be the first launch for professional development in schools. Either they have it immediately after Christmas break or they move it to this day. But it seems to be in our district today that it's a really much a focused ed tech sort of professional development. So we have somewhat of a modified tech conference happening in the district today where people are taking small little sections of expertise that they have to share with other people. So it's kind of like EdTech Chat and Chew, but on a bigger scale.
That's
cool.
Fantastic. That's really, really neat.
So what's happening in your world these days, Mike?
We're in school today, and we were supposed to have an in-service similar to what you described last week, but due to snow, that got canceled. So I've been trying to meet with teachers one-on-one during their preps and kind of get around to everyone and talk about some cool things that we can do in their classrooms. One of the things that my third grade teachers seem to really like and are excited about, I wanted to share. It's the 100-word challenge. A lot of my teachers have blogs set up, but often they run out of ideas or have trouble coming up with ideas of what to write about. And this is an incredible site where students are given a different prompt, either in the form of a picture or a half of a sentence each week, and then students from all over the globe blog using this one prompt as their basis for building their blog posts. And then the 100-word challenge team actually makes sure that every kid gets at least one comment of feedback, and the feedback is excellent. Tells them, what they did well, but also room for improvement, punctuation, how they could have developed their story better, and it's really helped our third graders turn into much better writers than they were beginning of the year. And I know the 100-word challenge team also has for younger students down in the kindergarten through second grade. They have a 5-sentence challenge, which is the same kind of thing. Every student gets a prompt and they write 5 sentences on it. So our second grade teachers are going to start doing that. So we're really excited about finding a way to get kids to really enjoy writing and improve as they write.
So let me ask you this. Do they need to go onto that website and register, or is just the prompt there for them to take away and just run with it?
Yeah, well, the prompts are there, but the neat thing about the site is you don't have to register and commit to do it every week. You can do it on a week-by-week basis, so if you've got a real busy week coming up and you can't fit it in, it's okay to skip a week. And the website, we're going to put it in the show notes page, but it's 100wc.net.
Well, that's a new one to me. Did you girls know about that one?
No.
Did not, no.
In Texas, we've got that great writing STAR test in 4th grade, so I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm looking into, we're talking in our district about how to increase writing scores, and I would love to see us focus on having a culture where students share what they've learned in all content areas, whether it's through blogs or posting their information on collaborative wikis, kind of like an encyclopedia, but getting them into the habit of whether it's any of the different genres of writing, but sharing what they've learned in order to reinforce the content knowledge, but also build those writing skills that we know are so important.
You mean writing for authentic audiences, part of the Common Core?
Yeah, that would be kind of great, wouldn't it?
I love it. Anything else happening, Michael?
There's plenty happening, but I want to hear from Karen and Andrea and you. What's going on in your buildings?
All right, Karen, let's toss it to you.
All right, well, we have a new change going on in our district. We have a brand new superintendent, and so last week we got to meet with some people that they brought on. It was like change that happened rapidly. We have 21st century learner leaders from each campus, and so it was the first time that I got to actually sit down during a whole day and meet with one person from each of our campus to talk about change and how we're going to effectively, or let's positively impact our campuses and bring them into the 21st century. And so during that time, I got to hear about some really cool things that some of our teachers were doing that I didn't know what was happening. And so I want to share one project with you. We have a first grade teacher over at one of our elementary schools, and her students have been learning about animals, this kind of habitats, and there's lots of things that they're learning. But she's challenged them to create basically a class zoo. They're going to create the zoo, and each of the students are responsible for coming up with one exhibit, one animal that they're going to become an expert in study. And so they're going to create that habitat, and alongside they're building a website so that you're going to learn about each of those animals. And so they're actually in Google Sites, and they're spending their time when they're at the computer lab working on researching. So she's built a nice little web quest for them and exactly what they need to find out about their animals. And so they're collecting a lot of neat things. And so I'll share the link to her website and the web quest in case you're interested. And I'm floored because I love that first graders are getting in and they're actually doing research, and it's valuable. And they're going to share it with everyone.
I love it. And
that is fantastic.
Are they doing research on computers, on iPads, or what?
Computers, yeah. In the computer lab, actually, they're doing their research there. They get to each pick an animal that's either a mammal, a bird, a reptile, and whichever animal that they're most interested in. And again, be able to build, just like if they were to visit the El Paso Zoo, but they're building their own zoo, which is awesome.
You know, that reminds me of the National Geographic Kids website where they can watch the videos, and it has very short animal facts that they maybe want to check out as well.
One of the things I love about that, Karen, is so often we hear from people that, oh, my students aren't able to do that. When we hear about, especially down in the elementary grades. And one of the things that I've seen that it sounds like your first grade teacher has kind of tapped into this a little bit too. When kids are pursuing what they're passionate about, and when they're engaged in learning, they often exceed what you would expect kids at that grade level to do, and that sounds like just an amazing first grade project where those kids are doing some incredible stuff.
And the thing is, it's spread out over time. It's not like they're dedicating 4 whole weeks of school to it. It's a 2 to 3 month project, and it's when they get that time to go to the computer lab that they're really focusing on it. So they're doing that research, and it's over time. They have time to go to the library, do research on the computer, whichever way they learn best, watch YouTube videos, and it's not all happening just at the computer lab. They have that time away from school to do a little bit of learning as well.
Have you thought about collaborating there with the education person at the El Paso Zoo to provide some expertise as well?
That's definitely something I'm going to bring up because we have Skype and we've got our Google Hangouts, and I think those kids would love to talk to an expert and hear how they're doing that at our local zoo, maybe even some other zoos.
And actually on that note, I actually have a first grade classroom that I'm working with kind of on the same type of project, and I can't wait to steal your ideas, Karen.
Remember, first grade teacher's idea here.
It's a first grade teacher that I'm working with the first grade group also. And I thank goodness for Twitter. I tweeted out to a couple of the zoos. One does charge to have a Skype call, but the other one was kind of like, yeah, we can hook that up. But the National Zoo has a great website that has like webcams that you can see all the animals on. But they don't offer Skype calls. But they have like a little education section.
But they can still peek in.
The webcams are great. Like I had to sit and watch them for a little while.
The Panda Cam alone is worth it. They have $1 and they have a Panda Cam, and you could watch it for hours.
I know. It's for
talk
research,
about the
right?
kids. Well, yeah, but talk about kids collecting data, because students can study trends over time using tally marks. How often does the bear walk across the camera? Does he walk the same direction? There's all kinds of things about animal behavior make them into real scientists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the even better ideas. I'm going to go back and share. This project's
Andrea?
going to evolve.
Andrea, tossing it to you.
Well, I have a couple of projects that we're working on. I'm working with a 5th grade teacher. She came to me and she's like, Andrea, I want to do something really fun. So they're doing a research project, and she was doing it over states. So she had each student create a float out of a Kleenex box over the state. And I was out walking one day. I'm like, wouldn't it be great? All these kids watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This is a 5th grade classroom. So wouldn't it be great for the kids to become like newscasters of their own parade? So the kids then had to write and describe what their float looked like, but not giving the state name, because we're also working on inferring and trying to figure out the clues. And they recorded that using Audacity, kind of like a little mini podcast. And some students went all out. Next up in line, you will see this great state float. And the kids will have to think about it. But now what we'll do is I'll actually put that on our blog with another link, so the kids are going to get to make like commercials with their actual float next that has the float, the state name and everything. So that way kids of all ages can go to the blog and either listen to the podcast and draw what they think the float looks like, or listen to the podcast and figure out what the state actually is and then check their answer. So
Fun.
Wow.
that's one thing we're working on. And like I said, the teacher was like, that's fantastic. And it's not much time out of what they're doing anyway, because they're already working on writing, they're working on the research, and now we're just adding just a little extra into it so the kids can enjoy it. And it's also Black History Month next month, and so we're having a big celebration. And so I read on Matt B. Gomez's blog a great idea how to use Sketch, and he's read Martin's Big Words to his class.
Oh, wow.
And it took pictures of each kid, and each kid had to then give big words and write that on the sketch picture to share with others. So we're going to do that as a whole school, whoever wants to be involved in that, and then put that into like a little presentation for our celebration in February.
That's awesome.
I'm thinking that hashtag comments for kids may be coming into play here.
Exactly, exactly. And I have a couple other things, but I'll say that till next Monday. I have to meet with my art teacher anyway, so.
I'll tell you, talking with you guys is just incredible, because some of the things that the three of you are doing just blow me away. I love learning from you guys.
Same here. I'm so thankful for our little Google chats that are always going.
Oh, me too. Me too.
So how about you, Diane? What's going on in your end of the world?
You know, there's a lot of things happening right now, but a couple of them that are big highlights is we do have a 6th grade classroom who is studying biomes. And she put out on the Skype in the classroom website looking for other classrooms who would be mystery Skyping their biomes, not just mystery Skyping numbers or states, or tell us about the biome in which you live. And so she put it out there looking for deciduous forest and tundra and island, tropical, all of these things. And right now she has done 3. She'll actually have one on Wednesday, a Skype call with Saipan, the island itself, and talking to students there. But not only are they covering the science part, of course, they're covering the culture piece. And it's so much fun because I spoke to her on the phone yesterday, and she is on fire. You know, she says, would you believe I've learned this? And did you know? And oh my goodness. And I said, well, don't you know that when you put your toes into the world of global collaboration, you dive in immediately right after. And she is literally on fire. I have to tell everybody how great this is.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
But it's not a hard project. It's just giving it an opportunity for kids to discover what it's like to live where you do versus where I do. On fire is all the way I can just summarize that whole piece. So we have that
fantastic.
Going on. Quad blogging is live again, friends. If you haven't seen that, at quadblogging.com, they have switched their website, so now they're letting classrooms stay together as long as they wish. And for our audience members, just what that is 4 classrooms linked together. Week 1, classroom A does all the writing. Classrooms B, C, and D will do the commenting on this first block. Week 2, it rotates. So this one will do all the writing. These will do the commenting. And it just rotates over and over again. So it's a 4-linked classroom event. So cool. So very cool. We have Amanda Miriam, who's down in Australia, good friend of ours. She is just getting ready to start her term in Australia next week. She's putting her classroom together now. All 5th grade girls class. Wow. And she said, I would love to do a quad blog, so I'm going to get a teacher here to join in with that. And we have to find 2 others. So friends in this little group. Just saying.
Well,
And
I want to find somebody for you.
That's actually our tech. That might be our tech challenge this next week, actually. So I'm glad you said that, Diane.
yeah. So that's on the works, and then we've been doing a lot of things with NASA, the actual digital learning network that we've talked about before. So big things happening. It's a good time. Also, just a quick update for our audience members about the National Endowment for Humanities summer teacher field trips. Your deadline to register for that is the first week in March, and what that is, friends, is you have the opportunity to fill out this application, and really it's something that you're curious about or you study in your classroom. The National Endowment for Humanities, which is funded by the government, will pay for teachers with a stipend to go explore more about a topic. So, for example, maybe you're curious on Charles Dickens. There's an event out in California that they will pay for you to go and explore on how Charles Dickens has been interpreted in films. There's one to Vienna to go study Mozart. There's one in Illinois to discover a little bit more about Abraham Lincoln. There's about 30 on the list, and those deadlines are coming up on March the 4th. And this Friday, the deadline for the Williamsburg Teacher Academy for social studies teachers to have a week free down in Virginia to study all about Colonial Williamsburg, that deadline is this Friday for those to go for free. So something to think about.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure we get links to those on our show notes page for our listeners.
Will do. Will do. Michael, anything else that you can think of we need to cover today?
No, but well, I mean, what I'd really like to, I think we'd all like to get to today is a nice tie-in from what you were just talking about, the global collaboration and how it can be so inspiring and exciting once you do that. And the four of us have put together a new global collaboration project that I'm really excited to talk about. So, do you want to share about that, or you want me to go ahead, or?
Go for it, my friend.
Okay, well, if we launched this morning the Virtual Valentines Project, which is for K through 12 classrooms and schools to get together. And what the project is going to entail is if you sign up on our site, which we're putting on the show notes page, but it's virtualvalentines.weebly.com. If you sign up your classroom there, we're going to partner you with another classroom somewhere in the world, and we're hoping to go worldwide with this. And what you would commit to with your classroom is creating a virtual Valentine with your class for your partner class, finding out how many kilometers it is between the two classes, and then learning a little something about the place that you're sending your Valentine to. So if you're partnered up with a classroom in India, you're going to learn about that region of India and share your students' learning in some way on our spreadsheet.
And I am so excited about this project. And we're calling it what?
The Virtual Valentines Project. And
the Virtual Valentines Project, with the tagline that we're going to melt the miles between us.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And
I think our spreadsheet is named the Melting the Miles spreadsheet. Share what you've learned about your location that you're learning about. So.
Oh, it's exciting. It's exciting. Girls, any thoughts on the project?
Other than I'm super excited and I can't wait to share more of it.
And I have to say that Michael put together a pretty awesome little animoto as our Valentine out to all the people joining in on the project. So cyber high five to you, friend. It was great. It was great.
And we'll make sure we post that on the on our EdTech Chat and Chew website also for everyone. To wish all of our listeners that spend some time with us every week happy Valentine's from us. So.
Yes. And I discovered that Valentine's Day is celebrated in several countries around the world. It may have a different name, so I'm excited to learn what we can discover about other locations through the project.
Yeah, and I know we've got a couple of classrooms here in Pennsylvania that are very excited to get on board. And we've listed on the site some different ideas for maybe people that are newbies to the EdTech world, some simple ideas to get you started in either creating the virtual Valentines or sharing what your students have learned. So we've got a whole ideas page listed for people. Certainly if you needed to contact the podcast team, we put our contact information there. So if you had some questions about the project, you could get back to us. And one of the neat things on that website, on the Virtual Valentines website, is as we add kilometers to the spreadsheet showing where our Valentines have gone. We have a neat, and this was Diane's idea, we have a neat graph there that's going to show how close we've come to circumnavigating the globe with our Valentines. And we'd really like to hit 40,000 kilometers is what we're shooting for, to go past that, to go around the world with them.
So we need to talk to all of you, is the idea. Join in.
Yes, yes.
All right. So anything else we need to cover before we jump to what's for lunch?
Oh, it is lunchtime, isn't it?
Well, it's lunchtime for you guys. I already ate. But
All right, let's start with you then, Michael. What was for lunch?
well, you'll appreciate this, Diane, being the Disney fan that you are.
As you are.
My wife yesterday got a recipe from Boma for a chicken curry from the restaurant Boma at the Animal Kingdom Lodge down in Disney, and it was incredible. And I had leftovers today. It was excellent.
I'm excited. All right, Karen.
Well, since I'm home, I have the luxury of going and throwing some chicken on the grill. So I'm going to go grill some chicken and have some veggies. Yay!
Okay, Andrea.
I have a friend coming over going to take me out to Chipotle.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Because today is Andrea's birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Andrea.
365 days. Isn't that what I heard that?
And today was Subway.
Yum. Eat fresh.
Can't go wrong with the tuna sandwich. So that's how it works out today. Well, thank you again for joining us. We'll see you next week because, oh my goodness, friends, Groundhog Day is around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I don't know about you, but I'm really hoping for a shorter winter.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we'll see you next week, friends.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us for EdTech Chat and Chew this week. We love getting together to learn from each other, and we're happy that you were able to spend a little bit of your time with us today. You can make sure that you don't miss an episode by subscribing to the podcast on iTunes or to our YouTube channel. If you enjoy the podcast and you got a few good ideas today, please take a second to leave us a review on iTunes. Leaving a review is a great way to let others know about the show. Show notes and more information about topics from today's episode can be found on our website, edtechchatandchew.weebly.com. If you have questions for us, or would like to give us some feedback, drop us an email at edtechchatandchew@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll try and get your questions answered on future shows. On behalf of the podcast team, I'd like to wish you a week filled with all of the amazing things that make teaching the greatest job in the world. Make sure to